StarRupture Early Access is here. I've had the opportunity to spend some time with the game, close to 20 hours in at this point, and squarely in the mid to late game, I think. So there's a few tips and tricks I learned starting out in StarRupture. Number 5 is probably the most asked question I've ever seen. We're gonna start out this whole thing with me not numbering any of the tips, so good luck finding number 5. Friendly note here to begin with, save your game. There's a autosave functionality, but the game is not automatically saving your game when you exit. This was very common back in the old days before autosave were a thing. You either had to save or you lost all your progress completely. In 2026, however, this is quite poor taste and should probably be fixed. Even if you have played through the tutorial, there is a few things that Gal just doesn't teach you. The game tasks you with surviving, which means not dying.
Necesito agua.
Ow. Took damage. Early game, you will have to eat and drink from the things you find in the environment. Nutrients are rarely an issue. You can eat most things you find. There's a lot of polyfruit around, so that's an easy win. If you, like me, pay no attention until shit hits the fan, you will find yourself out of water and not knowing what you'll need. Maybe these are water. Use. Okay. Hugh. Gain hydration. Yeah, that's what we need. What you do need is these blue bulbs. They will be your source of hydration in the early game until you unlock the food station at level 7 with the future help solutions. I wouldn't suggest focusing on this very much. You'll do fine with hydro bulbs to begin with. They are called hydro bulbs, by the way. Makes it a bit more obvious when you pay attention, doesn't it?
Once you research enough plants, send the data to our scientists and claim your reward. In the future, you will need to decide which corporations you want to share your research with.
Despite what the dumb AI tells you, focusing on one corporation over another will not lock you out of progression with any of the others. While some corporations provide more valuable unlocks, they can all be progressed at the same time and does not appear to be limited by any other way than just the amount of data points and the recipes that you unlock with them. You can copy a building by hitting C on the keyboard while looking at it. This can be used even with the build drone that you unlock shortly after the tutorial. Before you get used to it, the build mechanics is a bit annoying to deal with, and I found using this greatly improves the building experience as well. I would still love to see a blueprinting system in the future, even if it's a simple setup similar to something like Satisfactory's blueprinting. Continuing with the build focus, we know you can raise and lower foundations by using the scroll wheel, and you can change the platform size by right-clicking, right? That's common knowledge by now. But did you know you can raise and lower the actual connection point for rails without moving the foundation itself? Click the middle mouse button, or the scroll wheel if you'd prefer that, and you can toggle between moving the platform or actually moving the connection point vertically instead. Super handy. No more wonky connections or platforms. This does break the functionality to paste a platform over an already constructed platform, however, so placing rails down first is well advised. Remember that hitting Y on your keyboard allows you to lock the platform to a specific height as well. Combining this with using the Alt key to align with nearby grid heights makes building a breeze. Tired of having to activate a drone every time you try to build something? In the settings, you can make the game do whatever you want it to. Want to have the drone always activate? You can do that. Want a drone to remember from last time you built something? You can do that too. Finally, some useful AI. Take notes, Microsoft. Copilot might have something to learn here. I'm surprised how few people look at settings in general. Do yourself a service. Take a minute to go through the settings next time you launch the game. Really any game. It's worth it, I promise. We all should have a little bit of total biscuit in this. Settings matter. Why is my facilities not producing? And now it's just sending what is needed to be replenished. And same thing happened with that one when it was done. Okay, that's quite convenient. Being an automation game, you may find yourself confused with how rails and transportation works. Compared to your basic belts in Satisfactory or Factorio, you will often find your rails in StarRupture empty. How so, Keanomy, you ask? StarRupture rails. As the name suggests, are rails your drones follow when moving items between buildings. But only if they request said item. In other words, StarRupture's logistics works by buildings requesting items they need using drones, not by items being pushed from production buildings endlessly. The benefit to this is that you likely won't have to use as many rails as you would use belts in other games like Factorio, Little Rocket Lab, and Satisfactory. This isn't better or worse, it's just different, and requires a different mindset when you are constructing your factory for your corporate overlords back on Earth. Hard time figuring out which locations contain resources to mine? I found using the deconstruction tool the best way to identify them, especially if you struggle to locate them directly on the map. There is no explicit marker for resource locations, and occasionally all resource nodes appear as wolfram. This might be a bug, but you can locate resources within viewing distance really easily using the destruction tool. You can do much more than just build in StarRupture, of course. Exploring isn't an optional part, but absolutely required to progress through the game. While exploring for recipes, you may find yourself facing a rupture with nowhere to hide. Achieve true immortality, whatever that means.
I'm detecting increased Raptura activity.
Oh
Prepare
shit,
for
I
a
need to
wave.
leave. I need to leave, like, right now.
Oh, nice.
Do I have a base possibility? Yes, okay. Keeping a few meteorite hearts and the basic building materials on hand at all times allows you to set down a base core and habitat whenever and wherever you need it. A must-have for busy explorers that doesn't enjoy the feeling of hellish heat in their lungs and a slightly burning taste in their mouth. If you survive, however, is very much dependent on if you'll panic or not. Airlock, quickly.
Raptura's core
Oh,
is unstable.
fuck, I'm
Head to
stuck.
safety immediately.
Give me something to step on, please. Fucking hell!
Bullet is being
Ah, I
inserted.
built it so high up, I couldn't get up to it. Get your weapon upgrades. Not only is the assault rifle way more satisfying to use, it's so much more efficient against the vermin compared to the little pea shooter you start with. It's not even funny. Whatever that is. There. Ah, where did you come from? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Absolutely not. I was not ready. Bastards. 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 Who does this? What the actual hell? And the damn pea shooter is still using ammunition. In a pinch, using the mining laser is always an option as well. It doesn't even use ammunition. From there, the weapons just becomes increasingly more fun to play with. I love the shotgun, dude. One of the resources I've seen people struggle with is quartz and glowcaps. To find these, you will need to go out exploring right after a rupture. This is when the underground caves will open up. The caves are visible on your map, marked like this, or with a question mark like this. If you have not yet discovered the location fully, you will see this question mark that I showed. I think walking up to the location or discovering it using an antenna tower is what actually reveals the full location on the map. Inside these caves,
Looks
you'll
good.
find quartz and glowcaps, plus some dead bodies every now and then. The cave entrance will close after 10 minutes and you can shoot this Red Bull, and the vines will retract temporarily, allowing you to get back out. Really handy. There isn't too much use for these items beyond research, so you likely won't have to visit these caves too often. The glowcaps are decent, I guess, but the game lacks sufficient challenge to care that much about healing, and food and water is just all over the place anyway. But that's about that. You thought I was going for 10 tips? Nah. You get 9 and you'll be happy about it. So expect 10 tips. Leave a tip I forgot in the comment section. I'll appreciate and acknowledge your contribution. You can leave a like on the video as well while you're down there. they say that helps. So, see you next time. Bye-bye. Can I hit anything, please? Come here. Too many of you guys. I only have 600 bullets with me. Game isn't actually that hard, but you don't have a proper weapon. These guys can actually be kind of annoying. Begin with, you have just this little pea shooter, and it doesn't deal damage at all. And it's impossible to hit anything. Lasers. Stop jumping at me. We can be friends.